Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the invisible science that, honestly, keeps our world from falling apart. Quality control. Yep, it's the hidden reason your car starts every single morning and your phone somehow survives yet another drop. Let's dive in.
I mean, you've been there, right? You buy two things that look exactly the same. One of them is just flawless. The other one feels like it's going to break if you look at it too hard. What is going on there?
Well, it's not luck, and it's definitely not magic. The answer is a really powerful, deliberate discipline that's all about making sure things work the way they're supposed to. It's this relentless pursuit of perfection, and it's all built on data and process.
So to really get a handle on quality control, we have to start with a question that's actually, surprisingly tricky. What does the word quality even mean when you're making something?
And what's so fascinating is that the experts don't even agree. On one side, you have this idea of quality as like an art form. It's that feeling of excellence. You just know it when you see it. But on the other side, it's a pure science. A product has quality if it perfectly matches its blueprint. That's it, no more, no less.
So for our purposes, we're going to use the definition from the International Organization for Standardization, ISO. And they found this great middle ground. They say quality is just the degree to which a set of inherent characteristics fulfills requirements. It's kind of the perfect blend of that feeling of excellence and the cold, hard data.
So how did we get here? I mean, the journey from an artisan just kind of eyeballing their work to today's super high-tech factories is an amazing story. And it all comes down to one massive revolution.
For centuries, quality was all about the skill of one person. Then, the Industrial Revolution gave us factories, and these inspection departments whose only job was to find mistakes at the end of the line. But the whole game changed in 1924, when a guy named Walter Schuhart brought statistics into the factory. That idea was later taken to Japan by W. Edwards Deming, and it literally rebuilt their entire manufacturing base.
And that right there, that is the big idea. It was this massive shift in thinking. Why wait until everything's finished to find your mistakes? It's so much smarter and more efficient to control the process while it's happening, to stop defects before they're even made.
Okay, so how do you actually control the process? Let's look at the core tools that make this whole proactive approach a reality. The main tool in the toolbox is something called Statistical Process Control, or SPC. You can think of this as the engine of modern quality. It's a way to measure and control quality during the manufacturing process, not after.
And here is a fantastic way to think about it. You wouldn't bake a cake by just cranking up the oven and only checking at the very end to see if it's a burnt mess, right? No! You use a thermostat to keep the temperature just right the whole time. Well, SPC is the thermostat for a factory.
The heart of SPC is the control chart, that brilliant invention from 1924. It's actually pretty simple. You plot measurements over time. As long as all your little data points stay between those upper and lower guardrails, you know your process is stable and everything's fine. But the second a point jumps outside those lines, that's an alarm bell. It's telling you something unusual has happened and you need to go figure it out right now.
But wait, you can't always check every single item, right? I mean, imagine trying to check every single microchip. So what do? You use another tool called the Acceptable Quality Level, or AQL. It's a super clever way to use a small sample to make a really big decision.
Think of it like this. When you go to the doctor, they don't drain all of your blood to see if you're healthy. Of course not. They take one small representative sample, and from that little bit, they can tell what's going on with the whole system. AQL does the exact same thing for a giant batch of products.
Now, what happens when you take these statistical ideas and you push them to their absolute logical extreme? Well, you get one of the most famous quality philosophies on the planet.
Look at this number, 3.4. What on earth could that mean? Well, it represents a level of quality that is so close to perfect, it's almost hard to wrap your head around. It is the ultimate goal of a system called Six Sigma. That's right. Six Sigma means you are aiming for just 3.4 mistakes for every 1 million things you make. That is 99.99966% perfect. It's an absolutely relentless mission to hunt down and eliminate every possible source of error.
And to pull this off, they use this very structured 5-step method called DMAIC. It's a powerful cycle. First, you define the problem. Then you measure everything you can about how things are working now. You analyze all that data to find the real root cause. Then, and only then, you improve the process. And finally, this is key, you control it to make sure the problem doesn't come back. It's a data-driven hunt for perfection.
So, we've gone from ancient craftsmen to complex statistics. But why does any of this really matter to you and me in our daily lives?
It matters because every piece of complex technology we depend on, it's a small miracle of consistency. The reason millions of phones can be made with such incredible precision, the reason our cars are more reliable than ever before, it's all because of this invisible science of quality control working tirelessly behind the scenes.
And that leaves us with one last, pretty fascinating question to think about. We went from the human eye to statistical control. Now, as our products and our factories get smarter and smarter, infused with AI, what's the next quality revolution going to look like?